I'm Jessica Johnson Cope.
And I'm Waleed Cope. This is Commerce and Chill.
And we're back. Welcome back for the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I'm Jessica Johnson Cope.
I'm Waleed Cope.
And we're here to talk about the intersection of business, life, and
everything else.
Coupledom.
Yeah, everything.
What you want to talk about today?
I don't know. Like, it's kind of crazy right now. Like, I really want to talk about what's going on in the market and with small businesses, but I know everybody's probably like coroned out, and I don't mean the beer. But I think it's some time for people to talk about what we could be doing in these times, because a lot of small businesses, like not even small business, a lot of businesses, period, are closed. If you're not on the essential business list here in New York, your doors are closed. And we don't know for how much longer it's going to last. So I don't even want to sit here and talk about, Corona this or what politicians are doing or not doing. I think we should, what?
So let's focus on how do you stay essential? If you're a business, especially a small business, how do you stay essential even during turbulent times?
Right. So not being on not how to get on the essential list, just how to be essential and be relevant during uncertain times.
And just for a point of clarification, I've heard in the media where people are referred to as non-essential employees. Let's just put a pause on that. Now, let's just eradicate that, erase that out the vocabulary, out of the vernacular, because people are essential. Everybody has a purpose. It's just that your role and your job may not be as important as somebody else's. So remember, you matter. You matter. Even if your job is not at the top of the list. So let's just dead that non-essential employees, because employees are what make organizations work.
So you had to go there. So now it's on. So this whole thing has happened. It's affecting everybody all over the world. No one's immune from it. But what I really find interesting is for years, decades, months, whatever time frame you want to choose, there has been a population of people who have poo-pooed on hourly wage workers at the restaurants, like at McDonald's or at the dollar store, wherever. You see memes about them. You see people making these comments about them, people talking down to them, blah, 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 blah. So in this present moment, and after this crisis is over, which hopefully will be very soon, I hope people have a whole new level of respect for the people on the front line. And I'm not just talking about law enforcement, healthcare workers. I'm talking about the people on the front line who are in these essential businesses, according to the state and government, that are still open. So when you used to poo-poo on the person behind the counter at McDonald's or at Wendy's or at your corner bodega or at the laundromat or at Starbucks or at the dry cleaning, you'd be like, you just got a job doing that, and was like, yeah, you whack. But let's not get it twisted. All those people that were poo-pooed on or we considered their jobs to be whack, those are the people right now who are keeping what little bit of the economy we have going financially with businesses going. So people are hoarding and buying all this stuff and sitting up in their house because they got to get quarantined. But when they need some water or they want something to eat real quick or they want to do takeout, they're going to one of these places where they poo-pooed on an essential worker who's an hourly wage worker. Who's a low wage worker who's keeping the machine running right now. So people need to take a step back. And we're grateful for all the healthcare workers and the law enforcement who are out there doing their thing during this crisis. But people really need to thank the people who are showing up to go to work, the cashiers, the stock people who are putting product back on the shelf, the people driving the trucks, the people delivering the product to these stores to make sure it gets on the shelf. FedEx, UPS, the mailman, the mail lady. Like, if they don't deliver that stuff during this, you ain't getting your well, checks if you still get them, or direct deposits. Some people might, but you're not getting the essential stuff you need. If you order some stuff from Amazon or Etsy or wherever, you ain't getting it if they don't roll up. So people need to just take a step back and think about it. Like, y'all posting stuff thanking the healthcare workers, and we should, but you need to thank these hourly, the people that fall into that wage class that people have been sitting on and poo-pooing on for a while. Like, respect. Because I know some people who work on our team, and they come back and tell me, yeah, people come in here and they talk down at us or they disrespect us, especially at the mat, right? At the box, people be like, oh, you working a laundromat? One of the team members just said the other day, yeah, all them people was joking me and clowning me now, and they're sitting home not working, and I'm getting a check. So, like, we really need to think about how we treat people, because you never know when that table or that coin is just going to turn or flip, and you're going to be on the other side. And that person is handing you your food now because you're hungry, because you got nothing else in the house, because you ate all what you brought, and everybody hoarded everything, so there's no more food in the stores.
So let's talk about the other side.
Okay,
Flip
I'm
the
done.
coin. Other
I'm
side.
sorry.
So how do you stay essential if you're particularly if you're a small business owner and you're going through right now? You've seen a decrease in your business, your clients.
How do you stay relevant? How do you stay alive?
Right.
Okay.
So
Me first or you first?
Well,
So what I would recommend and what we're doing now, and what I think everyone should do who's in, and I'm going to say small business, but I think any business who's affected by this, whether you're open, because you could be open and your business is just slow. I know people who are in central businesses and they're open, but nobody's coming in. Or, they have a restaurant and only a few takeout and delivery orders are coming in, because most of their business came from people walking in and dining in. So they don't have a real big delivery. So what I think and what I would do, and what some of the things we're doing, I would take this time to make content. And when I say make content, I would make a lot. How much? A lot.
a lot.
And now I wouldn't just sit down and say, oh, I'm going to whip out my phone and just like have myself sitting in my store or sitting in my office and just rambling. I would look at telling the story of my business. So why did we start? What do we do? I would take this opportunity to create content that would resonate and connect with my current audience, if you have one on social, and if you don't, to start creating one. So then people would know who you are, what you do, and then hopefully drive, oh yeah, we have a takeout, we do delivery. So that wasn't big for us before, but if I create that content and connect with people, they'll be like, oh, they make these tacos and they do delivery? Oh, that's cool. Let me order one and try it, because I told the story through social, creating this content, and it resonated with someone. Maybe I take this time, if I have a restaurant, and I start me a cooking channel, and I start preparing the dishes that we serve at our restaurant and show like the preparation we put in it, the attention, the love, the care, like how, like I wouldn't reveal the recipe 100% because you don't want to let out to your competitors what you do, but I would cook stuff and just be like, this is how we do this dish and why it's on, and tell why the dish is on the menu. I would create content a lot.
You're talking about creating a content is a great way that businesses and business owners can create an intimate relationship with the end users that they're trying to reach, as well as with their customers. Especially when you think about the concept of social distancing, right? Even though we're physically distant, with people being even more attached to their devices now because they have to stay indoors.
Hell of a time.
Then this is the perfect time to develop that content that people can see, because what you're going to find is people are over consuming content on the different social platforms and on their devices. So now is the time to take advantage of it, and you see the innovative ways that different people and businesses are using it. Like,
put out the content.
We're going to say club quarantine,
right,
and leave it right there.
Put out the content.
And
try new stuff.
Build the relationships and people who know you. Okay, so that's a good point. I'd say my first point is that you reach out to people and you let them know that you are open for business. See, a common misconception is that because many people are staying at home working from home, that they're not working, or
Yep.
that they're not still in business. We recently had a team member that was like, Ms. Johnson, I've been calling construction companies, but they don't need security because they're closed. That's not actually the case.
Depends.
'Cause what we found is that our clients with active construction sites, if they have to shut down, they don't want to completely abandon their site. What's the corollary for you and your business, right? What opportunities are there that the clients may not be able to be completely operational, but they can still take advantage of your products and services? So you have to let people know that you're open for business. And how do you do that? Number one, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and call. If you have their office number, you can leave a message. If you have their cell phone numbers, you can call them directly. It's nice, even if you have just a 2-minute conversation.
Absolutely.
But
Just
we've
call
gotten
and check
away-
in on people.
We've gotten away from the human connection, and a basic phone call will allow you to make that connection or reestablish that connection and let people know that your office is open for business. Because if they don't know you're open, how you going to get the business? Especially in the slow times. I bet you most of your competitors aren't going to do that. So let people know that you're open for business, and you can do that to start by making a phone call, or you can make content to do that.
Absolutely.
So what's your next tip?
Next tip is I would reach out to other businesses, whether in your local community or just in general, depending on what type of business you have, like if it's e-commerce or you have a local shop. I'll reach out to other businesses. And right away, I would figure out from those businesses how we could work together. Biz dev. Like you've heard me talk about it before, I'm going to run it in the ground today. I would biz dev. So, great example. Candy Colored Girl Vintage Shop in Bed-Stuy on Bedford Avenue. Shout out to them. Let's get a little pop-up of them coming up here. And we work together with them at the Soapbox. They're a vintage shop. Vintage clothes are gently used, right? So we have a partnership with them where we clean some of their items before they present them to their customers. And then their customers can bring those items to us to get cleaned, obviously after they wear them. So we work, it's a symbiotic relationship. So their customer is they're not our competitor, because their customer is our customer, or their client is our client. Our client is their client. We're not competing with each other. So small businesses should figure out, how do we work together in this downturn? I just posted something yesterday about it. Hamlet came up with this crazy post from the Wolf of Wall Street, and we edited it, and we talked about like the fire and desire of a small business owner, and you're being told like you can't open your business, or you got to restrict what your business can do when you're not used to that. So I put that out, and I put in the caption, I was like, people DM me. Let's figure out how we can all work together to keep ourselves going during this downturn, right? It's so easy, and I think that's one thing we all overlook. If you have a restaurant that does deliveries, why can't we have some arrangement where I send you coupons or flyers about my business, and you put in every bag that when you deliver the food, right? And then you say, well, I have these coupons that we're doing like free burrito night every Wednesday, or discount burrito night. You give me those. I just don't put them in my store on the counter, because anybody can do that. Or they put the little board on the wall with them up. Mm-hmm. Like, I actively take them and say, you know what? I'm going to create this coupon book. And this little coupon book is going to go into every one of our orders that go out. And then we put that in there, and you're in it, and then another business next door to me is in it, or down the block, or 10 blocks away. And we create this symbiotic relationship where we're promoting each other.
I love that idea. And as you're talking, it brings me back to something that I read not too long ago.
Glad you loved it.
Oh, I love lots of your ideas. But I was reading somewhere about, in my Bible study in quiet time, and it talked about tithing ideas, right? Okay. It's one thing to tithe money. We're all called to tithe our resources, right? But tithing ideas, and I think in the small business community, that's especially important. And because in one way, it's like you're paying it forward, but in another way, it's you're leveraging your experience, your relationships, your business acumen to be a blessing to somebody else. So for every 10 ideas that you come up with, give one away to another business owner. And I can think of in the past week, at least 3 business owners I've been able to bless with business ideas on how they could sustain and grow their businesses, even in the midst of a pandemic. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I know you've been like, save that energy for you, but
No, I'm like, you should give it away, but sorry.
But there's a lot to be said. The way that I see ideas is that ideas are floating all the way around the room. They're just dropping from the sky. And if you don't get them, somebody else is going to get them. So just because you see an idea doesn't mean that it's intended for you. It's, oh my goodness, it's a tsunami of ideas. But if you grab hold of that idea and it may not be a good fit for you and what you do, pass it along. Because somebody else can be a blessing to you, and somebody else is going to give you some ideas how to grow your business. So,
yeah, but the sad part is most people think if I tell somebody my idea, they're going to steal it or they're going to do better than me. But what most people don't realize, like, ideas are crap. It's all about execution. Like, we've had a ton of ideas. This stuff, good ideas we had, and some we put out there and we didn't execute on it well, so it did okay. But there's other stuff that did way better. So, yeah, tide those ideas. Or just like put it out on the table, work together. Like, oh gosh, whatever. I don't like.
So I'm not saying don't work together, but
yeah, like if listen. Yes.
Here's my tithe idea offering.
Listen,
rocks with it.
Here's a good example. Good friend, homeboy, love him to death. Fat Donut, Ilya, right?
Hey, Fat.
Right. Tag him up. Let's get some donuts rolling across the screen here. Link it to him. Right? He has the sit-in portion of the business, like that cafe area. People can't sit down there and eat right now. He's got a full menu plus the gourmet donuts that he does. If you don't know about Fat Donut, just shout out to my boy. Go check him out. He's in Bed-Stuy, Malcolm X Boulevard. Fat Donut. They're literally fat donuts. They're huge. They're big, but they're light and fluffy, and they taste so good. Yeah.
They're not good quarantine food.
Yeah,
you gotta go outside and walk around the block a couple of times.
My sugar levels just went up like 10% just thinking about one of the donuts. They're huge. But anyway, we were on the phone talking yesterday because when I was on the phone with someone else, somebody else gave me an idea, and I was like, hold up, let me call Ilya. He could use this idea, right? To use for his business. And like he's going through the details of it and working on it now. Like, I will get nothing out of it financially, but
you might get some donuts.
I might get a donut. That would be for my stomach, not financially. And I don't need no more donuts for my stomach. But it's not about the money because it's about all of us winning together. And the feeling you get to say, listen, I gave you this idea. It did, it worked out for you. The person did well. It feels good. That's the most important thing. Because right now, it hurts driving down. Like, it's a ghost town out here. Like, I get to the office. We get to the office so fast now. There's zero traffic. Like, we're getting here in 20, 25 minutes. Like, we're breaking records getting to work. And like, I'm kind of loving it because now I got plenty of time before the hustle and bustle, quiet time to get extra work done. But at the same time, it's depressing because when we're driving down the street, I'm like, look at all these gates closed. There's no people on the street. So that's a lot of, economics that's not going back into these businesses.
Or these communities.
Right. And then the other flip side of it is people aren't making money. Like, they're sitting home. If you're an hourly worker, if you're not putting in hours, you don't get paid. So it's really scary right now. So the businesses share the ideas, work together. What else?
Oh, it's my turn again?
I don't know. I forgot we left off. I just started ranting. I totally lost track.
You did, but then it made me think of just basically keeping in touch with people, right? I called one of our clients the other day, and he answered the phone, and when he found out it was me, he breathed a sigh of relief. And I was like, is everything okay? He's like, yeah. It's just, I know that if you're calling, it's not about a problem. It's nice to talk to somebody that's just checking in on me.
Boom, there's the next tip right there. Everybody now should be taking the time, and you talked about it earlier, the human touch. Pick up the phone, get your client list out. Somebody's gonna start playing that in the background now. We need a sound thing so I can click the button and bring up sounds when we need them. You should get out your client list right now, or some people you were touching base with in the past. to try and maybe sell them or their prospective client or their lead or whatever you want to call them in your business, whatever the term is. And I would call every one of them with zero ulterior motive and just say, how you doing?
How you doing?
Are you making out okay during this downturn or these? Because you don't know, some people right now, business is booming for them. Like if you make gloves and face masks and all that, business is booming. If you do some other things, business might not be booming. But you should reach out with people generally and just be like, how are you doing? And maybe you could be of some assistance to them or vice versa, but do it without looking for anything, zero, zilch, nada, goose eggs in return. Do it out of the kindness of your heart and connecting with someone to say, how could I possibly help you? And are you okay? Just a check-in call. Everyone should do that. 100%.
All right, I have 2 quick tips.
Go.
Number 1 is while you're sitting at home and you're eating all of your quarantine snacks, because I don't know about y'all, but I bought some groceries and
But those weren't quarantine groceries, let's be clear. Because we didn't go buy and run to the store because it's like, and then buy everything in the store. We just went regular grocery shopping like we do every, 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever it is.
Yeah, but I ate them like it was a quarantine.
Well, we do that all the time anyway. As soon as we come back from the store, we start eating them anyway. So
while you're binging your quarantine snacks, make sure you feed your mind, your body, and your spirit. Make sure that you're moving so that your blood is flowing, your heart is beating, whatever type of physical activity you need to do. But at the same time, feed your mind. There's no better time than the present to get some audiobooks, listen to some new podcasts, subscribe to the Commerce and Chill podcast. Or even to participate in webinars and online learning. There's a host of free college courses that are available online. Feed your mind, because if you don't, your mind is going to wander. What did they say? An idle mind is a devil's workshop. So put the mind to work with some healthy, nutritious food for your brain. Like I say, your brain is a muscle, so you got to work it out.
Flex it. Okay. So legit, use this time now to educate yourself, so when it's time to open up the floodgates again, you're coming out with fresh new ideas, or you not even an idea, you already got the idea, now you've worked out the mechanics of it, so now once the floodgates open back up, you can just hit go and start doing it.
Right. And then the second tip is, while things are a little bit slower, this is a great time for you to reevaluate your business. What's working? What do you need to tweak? Are there different products and services that you don't currently offer that you can begin to position your organization to offer? Additionally, are there target populations of clients and customers that you've overlooked that now it makes sense to serve? I mean, there's some industries that are going to be completely obliterated.
I'm sure.
So what do you do? What do you do if you worked in special events and you know that the calendar of events for the remainder of the year, it looks kind of suspect?
You gotta pivot.
You got to pivot. So what does your pivot look like, right? If you need some help, you can go back and watch some of the old NBA games and see how the old school players used to do it. You can get the ball.
Oh, okay. I hear you. I'm like, old NBA games.
Yeah,
that's because that's the only games you're going to be watching right now anyway, is the old ones. NBA TV.
Or you can
Slam dunk contest from 1980. Ain't no live games.
So now is the perfect time to think about what your business pivot looks like. Look at the online procurement databases, the procurement requests, to see what people are buying now. And if you're in any position, how can you sell those things? Or how can you partner with somebody to sell and market those things? I mean, we have a tremendous partner out of Ohio who is in the petrochemical field. And we had a quick call on Sunday about, oh, look, we have these products available that might come in handy to some of your clients. I sent one email, we got 3 calls. So we'll put them in a position, we'll benefit from that.
Can you follow up on those 3 calls so we could close those deals?
I can benefit. I just got to make sure that we finish with the podcast.
Okay, yeah. I'm just saying, like, as soon as we, like, close 3 leads, let's go. Turn those leads. This is the time. It's bad times. Let me say this. It's uncertain times, but what's that classic saying? You get lemons, make lemonades. Listen, we just got hit with a sack of lemons. What the heck are we going to do?
Lemon tree fell on top of us.
What are we going to do with these lemons? We could sit here and just be like, who hit me with this sack of lemons? Like I hate lemons, blah, blah, blah. What can I do with it? Or flip it and say, I'm going to take these lemons.
I'm going to make lemonade.
I'm going to make lemonade.
I'm going to make a lemon pound cake.
I'm going to make lemon martinis.
Make a lemon meringue pie.
I'm going to take the zest from the lemons and sell them to the restaurant down the street because they make these things and they put the lemon zest all over it. Like, I'm going to take the sack and I'm going to cut it up and take it over to my man because he uses the fabric to make these other things. Like, how do we take that sack of lemons and turn it into a whole new ball game?
Or we take the lemons, squeeze them, melt them down, blend them down into a nice mix, make them into a hot toddy so people at home who are coughing and hacking have some relief.
Let's take that one lemon and make it into as many products as you can.
You beat a George Washington Carver of lemons during this season.
He made a lot of things with peanuts.
He sure did.
But how do you do that? Right? How in these times, how do you take that and turn it into different things with your business? So if your business typically did dine in and a little bit of takeout, how do you flip the pivot and do delivery? Right? Maybe you partner up with some other business who's doing delivery or a couple business and you figure out how do you get one delivery person to do a bundle delivery. So like if you have desserts and I do the dinners
and if you have cocktails, then we have that discussion the other day.
So there's a whole I can order a meal and get a drink, I can get a dessert and I get a meal, and then this one delivery person picks it up from 3 local places and delivers to one consumer, and 3 different brands just got exposure to one client at the same time. And then the delivery guy's still working, the 3 local businesses are still sending out product and generating revenue. Like, how do we do this, the sack of lemons into take the sack of lemons and convert it into not just a lemonade stand. I want lemon meringue pie. I want lemon pound cake. I want lemon zest factory over here selling it by the pound to somebody else. Turn it into multiple things.
I just want you to never say sack of lemons again, please.
Okay. Bag of lemons. A really big bag of lemons.
Tree of lemons, just not sack.
Truckload. We just got hit with a truckload of lemons.
That
How about
works.
That? Let's turn those lemons into let's turn them into a profitable business.
Yes.
What any other tips you got? Or strategies or tactics? I hate tips. Tactics.
You don't like tips?
It just sounds like when people online scroll, and I'm going to give you 3 tips so you can start your own Shopify online business. No disrespect to Shopify. I'm just the people who are saying it. It's just tips. Tactics. What can we give people that's tactical that they can take away from this and go hit the pause button and start doing?
Open up your mind and get to work right now. That's the first thing. I mean, that's it. Just get to work. Don't wait. Just do it. Reflect on the recommendations that we've made, the tactics that we've shared to you, which are the same things that we're employing in our own businesses. That would be the Soapbox NYC and Johnson Security Bureau. We are the same things that we're sharing with you today are what we're actually doing in our businesses in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of the worst business shutdown we've seen in our lifetime.
And they're working.
And you see, we're at work. We're not at home. We don't live here.
No, I said they're working.
I know. I'm just saying, some people think that we live in a house.
Right.
No. This is work. We actually got up, took a shower, got dressed, drove to work, came inside. Yes, you did. I hope you did. Anyway, we are working because of these tactics that we're sharing with you. So we hope that you would take action on these same tactics. And in the event that your business has slowed down, you'll see an uptick. In the event that your business has come to a complete and utter halt, you'll find a way to pivot into something that will allow you to have a sustainable business once we get through with this. And best believe we will get through this. So just to summarize what we talked about, the tactics.
Thank you.
Include make content, make a lot of content.
Relevant content.
Tell your story,
Relevant.
Make sure it's relevant, and let people know that you are open for business, right? If you're open, let people know that you're open. If you don't post it to your social platforms, make sure you pick up the phone and call and let somebody know. Reach out and touch and hold somebody's hand, even if it is within the social distancing recommendations, figure out how you can work with local businesses or other small
Any business. It could be big, small, medium, local.
That idea that you've been holding on
across
to
the world. It's
you
the
don't
internet.
need to hold on to it for much longer. You're not doing nothing in the house but watching videos and looking mad at your kids, giving them the side eye because they're asking you questions about their online studies. So figure out how you can work with other businesses, approach them, present the ideas to them, and see what they have to say. In that same vein, tie the business idea. At least for every 10 ideas that you have, share one with another person or another business. You'll be blessed as much as you're a blessing to somebody else. Feed your mind, your body, and your spirit, but especially feed your mind during this quiet and downtime so that you can be stronger. The mind is a muscle, so you have to work it out. And be the George Washington Carver of lemons when the lemon truck hits your situation.
That's it.
Anything to add? Thank you so much for stopping by for the latest episode of Commerce and Chill, where we talk about the intersection of business, life, and relationships. We didn't talk too much about relationships because life and business kind of have everybody hemmed up right now.
That's my relationship.
But we look forward to you coming back so that you can hear more of what we have to share about our voyage on this thing called life, our voyage on this thing called entrepreneurship, and how we make it through as a couple. And hopefully you can make it through to subscribe, review, 5 stars.
Or 1 star. If you don't like something, tell us, and then we'll change it. Or maybe we won't.
Hit us up on social. We'd love to engage with you. Thank you to everybody who's already subscribed, who's not our mothers.
Ding, hit the bell. Thanks, Mom.
We love our moms. But we love you all too. And thank you for stopping by. So we'll see you soon. Commerce and Chill, and we're out.
Be safe.